Hello logical people, GKV here. Welcome to the third video of Next.js fundamental tutorial series. In the last video, we learned how a Next.js project is structured and which file does what. I hope you enjoyed that video. And now in this video, we will learn and understand what are hooks and specifically useState hook. But before that, we would like to talk about anonymous functions. So I hope you're excited because I sure am. And without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so I'm back in my VS Code editor as you can see. And the first thing I really want to talk about is anonymous functions. So what are those? Let's first see how do we write functions in JavaScript in general. So in general, we would say function, my function, and we will say return hello from my function. This is a typical function in JavaScript, right? The anonymous function, on the other hand, looks something like this. I'll say const my new function. Now this is an anonymous function because it does not have a name. So it does not have it technically does not have that keyword called function. However, this part is actually the function. So what I can go here and I can say return hello from my function. Now, as you see on the screen, these two functions are identical. They do the same thing, but this way of writing function is much neater and much more handy, as you will see in future videos, that you can technically just write this and you're still good to go. You have written a function that nobody knows how to call, but it is still a function, right? All right, perfect. So with that background, let's go and check what are hooks. So if we go to Google, right, because we always go to Google and we always look for definitions. So I search for hooks in React. I open the first link, and this is what the official document is saying. They are saying hooks are new addition to React. Okay, they let us use state and other React features without writing class. Hmm. What does that even mean? Okay, so they have given us something, and with that, probably we can do something, and we don't have to write classes. Okay, fair enough. They have given us some example. Okay, okay, cool. They're not breaking anything in the previous backward compatibility. Okay, I'm okay with this. This documentation does not look much helpful to me. Let's go and figure this out ourselves. Sometimes you have to do this, yeah? So we have this function called home, and we really haven't talked about components, but technically this is a component for Next.js. Okay. So what I'm gonna say const. So I'm creating a constant variable. Yeah, it's oxymoronic saying constant and variable, but let's just say this is constant. Okay. I'll say my new state, and this is equals to use state. Okay. And then we're gonna log this into the console, and we'll see what do we get. I want to remind you something that this use state needs to be imported from React like this. And since this is a hook, so use state is a hook provided to us by React. But notice that, or let's say, note that all the hooks must start with use keyword. So what that means is later in the tutorial we will create our own hooks, and that hook must start with keyword use. Okay. Okay. With that knowledge, let's go and look what we just logged into the console. I'm back to my localhost 3000 and I have logged something which seems like an array of two items. Okay. So if I open this, the first item is not defined or undefined, and the second item is a function of some sort. Okay. That's a bit helpful. There's something else that you can do with useState is that you can pass an initial argument. So let's say I would say this is my. Now what we log on the console is the first item is this is my text, and second item is a function still. Okay, that's a bit comforting, and I think it's not making sense to me. What I can do then basically I can I can do this, or what I want to do is I want to explain this use state hook using a counter variable. So let's try and do this. So I can say, use counter. I can say counter. Yeah, and that would be use state. I'll say start it with 0. So initialize it with the 0. And as we have seen before, that this use state is going to return a list. Our first item will be my initial value, and second item will be a function. So the function that is returned by use state. So if I go here and I say log, I'll say counter the first item and counter second item. We're gonna see that first item is 0 and second item is some sort of function. Sorry about that. Go back to console. Some sort of function. So when you write Next code or React code, you will see that nobody does it the way we have done it. We always deconstruct it, and naming conventions suggest that we always say set and whatever the counter name is. What we have got to us is a variable counter, and we have got a function that can be used to set new values to this counter variable. You might ask that why do we need another function to set a value of a variable? Simple answer for that is that this variable is a special variable. It's a state variable. And what it means is that value is consistent through the life cycle of this component. And what that means, we're going to look just now. What I'm going to say my counter value equals to counter. I save it. I save it. This is going to complain that this is not reachable and this seems like an error. To fix that, what we can do is we can wrap everything into a div. Perfect. So now let's go and have a look. So it's saying my counter value is 0, which is okay. We don't have to specify double quotes basically. Okay, so far so good. But what do we do with it? Let's try and see a couple of things. I'm gonna create a button, right? Button type is button. I'll say +1. What this button will do, whenever we click on this button, I want this counter to go +1. And to do that, we're gonna say on click handle increment. This is a function reference, and we're gonna create this function reference now. It's gonna be anonymous function. It's gonna be anonymous function like this, and we're gonna say set counter, whatever the counter value is, +1. Now if I go here and start clicking, it goes up, right? Beautiful. I like it. Now, since we are doing a +1, I think we should also do a minus one, right? Because why not? We can do this. I'll say handle decrement, if I can spell it. And we're gonna duplicate this, and we'll say whatever the counter value is and make it a -1, +1, and -1. Now do you see the beauty of using useState hook? Internally, it maintains the state of this variable and it passes on to each and every button, and it's able to manipulate each of these counters, right? I think I'm gonna stop this video at this point, and in the next video we're gonna learn about new hook, and the hook is called use effect. And when we learn about use effect, we're gonna tie together use state hook and use effect hook, and then you will have a concrete fundamental understanding of how powerful the hooks are. Okay, we'll see you there. Before clicking next, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. You can also put your thoughts and suggestions in the comment section so that we can read them and make new videos for you.